up to 100 inches. Or let the pros at EW design a system with a 4K projector and custom installed screen.
This program is paid for by Weeby Marketing.
Hey, so
Lawson sends it out to left center field. This ball's hit pretty well. It's traveling, and it's going to get out of here.
Swinging a fly ball, right field. Guess what? It is a grand salami.
And that is launched. And it's gone past the video board.
It's time for On Deck.
The Gators have their biggest inning in over a decade.
So here comes the payoff pitch from Barberi. And did he go? Yes, he did. Strikeout number 16 for the Gators. And Florida does, in fact, get the shutout.
On Deck is shining because of our title sponsor, International Diamond Center, the official jeweler of Florida Gators baseball.
Jocelyn Erickson, welcome to the 200 Club.
And brought to you in part by Titan MRI and Imaging, Meldon Law, Silverback Concrete, Campus USA Credit Union, B&D Electric, Quality Plumbing, Atlantic Roofing, Castaway Hot Sauce, Coke Zero, Holiday Inn University Center, International Gold and Watch Exchange, Miapa Latin Cafe, Ruse Ogra State Farm, and by Spurrier's Gridiron Grill.
Alongside Steve Russell, here's Jeff Cardozo.
We're going to flip it around, but welcome into our inaugural On Deck show of the year alongside Jeff Cardozo, broadcasting from the International Diamond Center studios. International Diamond Center, the official jeweler of the Florida Gators. We'll talk about all things Gator baseball, softball, SEC, MLB. And remember, if you were listening to Sports Scene on Facebook or YouTube, this is a separate Facebook or YouTube, so go on it. You can listen to us that way as well. Boy, I thought about you, man. A tough weekend for Florida baseball. Good weekend for Gators softball, but boy, Florida could have won that series, but it just didn't work out.
Yeah, you think about not only the game that didn't happen Saturday in the win. You think Sunday Alabama, you had the 4-0 lead, and some of those relievers weren't able to finish it off. Now that's only a couple of games, but you think about those two games, it puts you one game out of the SEC race right now.
Right.
So I think that's the fine line as we continue to now move forward. And I mean, this is going to be a huge week going to Georgia, who now leads the conference. So yeah, we'll see. Florida had won all 18 games when leading after 8 innings, and just didn't work out, which was tough because you would shut them out for 20 straight innings and throwing really, really well, and then just all of a sudden can't finish it off.
Email from William. I'm going to list a few names for you. You tell me what they have in common. Logan Shore, Brady Singer, Alex Faedo. The answer is alpha males looking to dominate the other team on Friday nights. Liam Peterson has similar talent, even more so than Shore, but at this point he doesn't have that dude factor to compete in the league on Friday nights. Aiden King, while as talented, I think has the mental makeup to compete on Friday. That move needs to be made, he says.
I agree with most of it. I still don't know about the move, but it's more complicated than just making that switch, I think, because there's a lot of stuff behind the scenes that maybe people don't realize or understand, and certainly the psyche of Liam Peterson is already a little fragile at best, so maybe doing that completely knocks him away. So I don't know, but I do think that Peterson needs to have a better mentality going in, and it's that bulldog. Hence we're going to play the dogs, but there needs to be more there, and I do agree with it. I think the guys that have that makeup, because everyone's good at this level, have a little bit more of an advantage when they do. So we'll see if he fixes it. But, yeah, you can't keep going 4 innings as a Friday night guy, completely messing up the rest of the bullpen in the weekend, because now we saw – Florida didn't have one guy go more than 6 innings all year, and then all of a sudden you see 2 guys on Friday and Saturday go 7, and that's the way it should look like.
Daryl, good seeing you at the ballpark for you. Despite the weather delay, I think Florida will be okay if we can start scoring more runs.
Yeah, I think that's part of it too. A lot of people say, oh, well, it was the pitching and all that. But, score some more runs when you get those types of efforts. And even in Aiden King's performance, it's 2-0 the entire time. You're sitting there on your edge of the seat because one base runner gets on, then all of a sudden that's can happen. One swing. So it just – anytime Florida wasn't able to increase that lead or just, tack on a run here and there, it's made my blood pressure go high.
You know, I'm not making an excuse here because other teams deal with this all the time. But Florida's had injuries too. And the lineup's been, Curlin was out for a while. Lawson's missed time. Strayer's missing time. That doesn't help matters either.
No, not at all. And, yeah, I mean, you don't have your best hitter in Lawson the last 2 games, and you really should have won both of them. So I think that's at least good. But, yeah, they need to get more contributions, especially from the bottom part of the order. I mean, Kendall, you look at the numbers. I mean, you sit there and you see them all. And, Kendall's 3 for 30. Myers, he finally drives in that run, which was huge on Saturday, but he had gone 40 straight at bats without driving in a run in the 9-hole. So, I mean, Stripling maybe now with the 3-hit day gets more time. We'll see. But then again, I think if you do that, you're sacrificing, well, what do I do then defensively at third? Because Sorowick's not nearly as good as Myers is, but Stripling's bat might be better. But then Stripling at first has also dropped 2 balls this year. He's missed a pop-up at that, and I'm talking about dropping balls that are thrown to him from across the diamond. So there's a lot of flaws with this team, but if they get hot and pitch in the postseason like they're capable of, they could beat anybody in the country.
Don't forget our phone and text line questions brought to you by Titan MRI and Imaging, 3 locations to serve you better. Our Facebook Live questions brought to you by Meldon Law, the only official injury and accident law firm partner of the Florida Gators. YouTube questions, courtesy of Silverback Concrete. You stand on it, we stand by it. Let's do our Team of the Week, brought to you by B&D Electric. With B&D Electric's, your home's electrical system is always game day ready. From repairs and lighting to panel upgrades and troubleshooting, they deliver every time. Don't foul out. Schedule today at www.bdelectric.com. Team of the Week.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to give it to Alabama, just how they continue to really impress. And, I think when we were there, it was obviously early on. You didn't know how they were. They had just gotten swept to open up the year in SEC play, and then Florida got them hot. They won 7 in a row and then ended up losing one, but then went to Oklahoma and ended up winning that final game. So they took 2 out of 3. So, I mean, they're jumping all over, and Oklahoma's a legit team. The Gators are going to have to go to Norman here in just a little bit. So I think you got to give Alabama a lot of credit. It's an okay lineup, but obviously they've pitched well enough, and they've got it figured out right now.
Georgia, to me, think about this. Mississippi State, the previous week at home, sweeps Ole Miss in Starkville, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now they get Georgia. And what does Georgia do? That's hard to do. You know how hard that is to go in there, win a series, let alone get a sweep. Now, how do they handle prosperity, right? Mississippi State got beat. Georgia's going back at home. But when you go to Starkville and you sweep a series, I got to give it to Georgia. I think that's really hard to do.
Yeah, and Georgia's a weird team too, are just interesting. I'm anxious to see them in person because they lead the country in homers and slugging percentage, but 2 of those wins were like 3-1 and just really low scoring games where they pitched it well, and they
hadn't pitched it well,
right? And they brought in a transfer that's now closing out games and doing pretty good. So I mean, they're a pretty complete team. Anxious to see them in person for sure.
Coach of the Week brought to you by Campus USA Credit Union, putting some star power to work in your financial life for 90 years. Campus USA Credit Union.
Well, it's a guy I don't necessarily like, but he's got his team playing really well. So I have to give Rich Wallace some props. That is the UCF head coach, and they just keep winning. They went on the road. They beat West Virginia a couple of times. I think they're up to now 12 or 13 somewhere in the polls, and they've just been really, really playing well. They've won 4 straight conference series, and they're 10-2 right now at the top of the Big Ten. So, I mean, UCF's, remember, a team that, they're going to get in this conference and they're going to get their brains beat in, and that's the way it was for a couple of years. But all of a sudden, Rich Wallace has turned things around. I think he started to understand how to recruit and putting some right people in there, and he's obviously been really, really good.
By the way, the SEC released their Players of the Week and such. Nobody from Florida, but co-player of the week was Trey Phelps of Georgia. He hit .421 for the week, 8 for 19, 3 homers, 8 RBI, 6 runs scored. That's pretty good. We'll take a break. We'll come back. Much more of the On Deck Show to come. Want to hear from you, whether it's softball, baseball, MLB, whatever it is. On Deck Show continues on WRUF.
The jewelry store with the most likes, the most positive reviews, the most raving fans is International Diamond Center.
IDC is definitely a place that I will come to as long as I live here. This will be my go-to place always.
Literally the best jewelry store in town. You'll make friends for life coming in here. I felt like family from the beginning. The value was extraordinary.
I've got a beautiful diamond on my finger, and I'm very proud of it.
International Diamond Center.
I'm very happy to show it off.
At Celebration Point and online at shopidc.com.
It's never fun being injured, and with summer on the way, the last thing you want is lingering pain holding you back. Good news, you don't have to deal with long waits or high costs at Titan MRI and Imaging. At Titan MRI and Imaging, you're not just another patient. You're treated with care in a comfortable, personal setting. With 2 locations in Gainesville and 1 in Lake City, being pain-free is a short drive away, and they accept insurance. So don't sit out this summer. Get the scan you need and get back to enjoying it. Visit TitanMRI.com to learn more.
Hi, I'm Kerry Meldon. At Meldon Law, we prepare every case as if it's going to trial. And part of that preparation involves real people from our community giving honest feedback. Join one of our jury research focus groups. You'll review real case scenarios, share your perspective, and enjoy dinner and dessert on us. We'll thank you and provide you $125 for your time. It's engaging, meaningful, and your voice truly matters. Visit meldonlaw.com to sign up today.
Concrete is tough, long-lasting, durable. And when it's done right, it's the foundation of everything that stands strong. At Silverback Concrete, we don't just pour concrete, we build trust one slab at a time. We're a family-led team of heavy concrete specialists who sweat every detail, from footers to elevated decks. We respect your budget, we build to last, and we care about the people on the job today and those who will walk these floors tomorrow. You stand on it, we stand by it. Silverback Concrete, we've got your back. Visit silverbackconcrete.co to get started.
It's game day. Lights on, fans ready, everything running like it should. Now imagine your home performing at that same level. No flickering lights, no tripping breakers, no last-minute surprises. With B&D Electric, your home's electrical system is always game day ready. From repairs and lighting to panel upgrades and troubleshooting, they deliver reliable service you can count on every time. Don't sit on the sidelines. Schedule your service today at www.bdelectric.com. That's bdelectric.com.
If there's anybody that knows what teamwork and great leadership is all about, it's the head ball coach himself, Steve Spurrier. Sure, it applies to football and the team at Campus USA Credit Union.
Yeah, I think we got excellent leadership with Jerry Benton and his staff there, and certainly I'm proud to team up with those guys as we go from year to year.
Campus USA Credit Union can help with all your financial decisions. Join the team. Learn more at campuscu.com. Member NCUA.
Every great team is built on a solid game plan, sharp execution, and total trust in the crew beside you. At Quality Plumbing, we bring that same championship mindset to every job we do. For over 40 years, we've been the starting lineup for homes and businesses across North Central Florida, delivering reliable service, expert craftsmanship, and big wins for our customers. Call us today or visit qualityplumbing.com. We're your first string team. License number CFC 043073.
That's the buzzer. And on Hard Rock Bet, buzzer beaters mean bonus bets. Every time a team you bet to win or cover hits a game-winning buzzer beater, you score a $25 bonus bet. An extra $25 on top of your winnings. Just opt in and bet $5 on any team. As many teams as you want all tourney. Win bonus bets at the buzzer. Only on Hard Rock Bet.
Payable in bonus bets, not a cash offer. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about your gambling? Call or text 1-833-PLAY-WISE.
Gator baseball is in full swing, and the road to Omaha runs through WRUF.
International Diamond Center. Make sure to don't settle for a knockoff diamond. You can get the best diamonds at the best prices for quality, selection, and value. International Diamond Center, the official jeweler of the Florida Gators. Steve and Jeff back with you here, the first on-deck show of the year. Let's go to our Titan MRI Imaging phone line. That's Woody. Woody, hello.
Yeah, hey, guys. Welcome back. Good timing. I wanted to say I'm not complaining, and I know a million fans would love to be in the position that I'm in, where my baseball and softball team are really good, and I'm worrying about small things. So I admit that. But it's hard to be patient with the baseball and softball teams when you see, some inconsistencies and some struggles and stuff like that, because we're looking at those programs and comparing them to the number one team. We know what we got to do to win the conference and go to the World Series. And so it's hard to enjoy the journey. But at the same time, I know that if we won every single game, if we crushed everybody, it would be boring. So I'm hearing Mark Wise again saying, enjoy the journey. And, boy, this baseball team has definitely taken us on a journey. That was one of the greatest baseball games I've ever seen. 2 pitchers just dealing. And then to have it end like that, I was just like, oh, my gosh, I bet you Ole Miss thinks it is the greatest baseball game they've ever seen other than a championship. And we're just thinking, gosh, what a crushing defeat. And I just want to know, do you think it's one of those things? We got great coaching, all that kind of stuff, lots of talent. You think it's just one of those things where they're probably going to sort it out and just hang in there? Or do you think there's real concerns with pitching staffs, with timely hitting, things that they may be struggling with, both softball and baseball?
Yeah, I think there's concerns with timely hitting. That's my biggest concern with the Gator baseball team for sure. I'm not worried about the pitching. I mean, these guys have been too good for too many games to – and listen, it's all going to happen. I mean, we see guys in the big leagues blow saves all the time. So I think for Reitner, though, just some days it didn't look like he had his best stuff the next day. But, having to use Barberi when he did in the first game because – Liam Peterson didn't go a long time, and then the Florida actually kept it close. I mean, I think that was the right move by Sully to bring him in that spot. So, and then he obviously got banged up a little bit, so you couldn't use him in the last game anyway. So the only option was to go back to Reitner. The only thing that maybe if you're Kevin O'Sullivan, you say, okay, I would have run Sandifer out there one more inning. He was only at 93 pitches through 7 innings. So if you run him out there in the 8th, and then you have Reitner for the 9th, which Reitner got through the 8th, and he was throwing in back-to-back days. But he did that in Arkansas, but that was the first time he had ever done it. So, Woody, I think there's a lot of, things that they're still trying to learn about what these guys can handle and figure it out. I think Sully's so used to being able to bring in guys in back-to-back days. But remember, Reitner's a freshman, and he's coming off arm surgery. So you got to build him up and be able to do it. He just wasn't nearly as sharp. The slider wasn't working. So he threw a really good fastball on the previous pitch to Utermark. It was perfect, right on the outer part of the plate. So they went back to it, which I don't blame them for doing so because Utermark had been pulling off of pitches all weekend long. But he threw a fastball that ran right back over the middle, and he just barreled it up. If he throws a slider away, he probably strikes him out. But I don't think they called the slider because Reitner hadn't thrown a slider in 2 innings. That was a strike. So you were just trying to sneak a fastball again by him, and he was ready for it.
What are you thinking about softball? I'm excited that Ava Brown is back. She's batting. She hasn't pitched yet. But I just don't see the rest of the staff being able to really hang in there against the really great teams. I know, I'm acting all upset about a team that's only lost like 6 games. I get that. But what I'm talking about is in order to supplant Oklahoma, you got to be the best. And I see – they got room to grow. And I'm pretty excited about Ava Brown coming back. I hope she starts pitching again soon because I think she's the one with enough experience to sort of move everyone down a little bit in the line, so they won't be needed quite as much, take some of the pressure off, and just keep doing what they're doing. But in both cases, I'm concerned about the top of the heap where we got to get. I know these teams are great and that, the other teams like Mississippi State over the weekend, that's a very good softball team. And who thought we'd be saying that? That pitching staff is crazy.
Yeah, Arkansas was
what
too.
We're playing against.
Yeah. And look, Florida's 11-4 in the league in softball.
Yeah.
Right? But I think what's happened, and I think softball fans have got to get over this a little bit, Florida's had a history, as in baseball too, of having dominant arms. And that shows more in softball because there's more innings pitched by starters, right? Well, Florida to this point, Rothrock's been good, but not great. And so Florida doesn't have, to this point, that person that's going to go out there and stuff it down somebody's shirt. I think Rothrock is capable of that, but again, not quite. They won yesterday. She gave up, 4 runs, I think? But they won. And that's the other thing. Florida's hitting has been pretty consistent. So instead of winning, 4-1, maybe you're going to win 7-3, 7-4. That's okay.
Yeah, and Woody, I think gone are the Stacey Nelson days where you just have this one dominant pitcher, and that's across really everybody. I mean, obviously there's teams that have teams that throw really well, but the hitters are just so much better. Obviously the film and the things you can watch, it's not like it used to be. And even though you have the ace in Rockrock, I totally agree with you. If Florida doesn't get Ava Brown back to throw well, then I'm not sure that they're going to have a chance. There's no way that Rothrock can just run through the postseason and have Florida win a whole bunch of games.
Okay.
Yeah, she seems to be great like 2 times through the lineup.
Yeah.
Sometimes against the better teams, and that's normal. That happens in the major leagues. I get that. But, I was just thinking, do you think they're going to make it? Do you think they're going to keep – they seem to be getting better, but do you think they're going to keep progressing, or do we have a ceiling? What do you guys think? In both cases, baseball and softball.
Yeah, I mean, I think both teams are certainly capable of going to the end. But I think Florida has more holes in baseball than they do in softball. And I think it's a really good lineup softball-wise. But, again, I think that's a sport where you have to be able to pitch it pretty good. And not having another person is going to put them – so still the ceiling's the College World Series. And I think it's the same for baseball because even if you're not scoring runs, it shows you – I mean, if they get 3 more outs, they have 2 shutouts. And that would have been the 8th. And Florida's 7 shutouts right now, baseball-wise, are the most in the country. So when you shut a team out, you're going to win, right? So they just got to keep shutting them out, I guess. That's the only problem. There's just such a fine line there with baseball.
What do you got to run? Thank you for your call. Let's do our relief pitcher of the week, brought to you by Castaway Hot Sauce. Hot sauce with real flavor, not just heat and vinegar. Built by Gators for Gators, Castaway Hot Sauce available at select public stores.
You get to see a lot of college baseball, certainly, but it's been fun watching the majors again, and I'm just enamored by Mason Miller, the closer for the Padres. He's not given up a run yet, and he's thrown 4 1/3 innings, and he's got 11 strikeouts. And it's just he's dominant. And I guess I just want the Dodgers to lose because they're such a good team and bought everything, so you're hoping San Diego can do it. I mean, we see that Giants aren't really the answer, and with Tony Vitello going there, they've really struggled. So I want Mason Miller to save like 85 games this year, and Padres win a whole bunch. But, I mean, he's lights out. He's by far the best in the business. He's 103, 104 miles an hour like it's nothing. It's pretty special to watch.
We heard Sully say, Jeff, at the beginning of the year, how deflating it is when you play hard for 8 innings but you don't have somebody to close it out.
Mm-hmm.
And he's talked about that several times. Well, in college baseball, you don't hear about the closer as much as you do in the big leagues. But already there's a couple of pitchers, one's at Southern Cal, that has 9 saves. That's pretty unusual in college. But I agree with Sully. When you play like that and all of a sudden your lead evaporates because you can't close it out at the end, that's disheartening. And that's why, in his mind, it's important to have that closer finish things up. Top 4 teams brought to you by Coke Zero. The new and improved recipe tastes like real Coca-Cola with 0 sugar and 0 calories.
Now, I mean, you have to put Georgia up there for what they've been able to do leading the SEC right now, so anxious to see them in person. You have to put UCLA up there from what they've been able to do. They're smashing all over the place. And then I think, to me, probably Texas and probably Georgia Tech would be the other 2 that I would put up there. I've certainly seen Florida State. They're getting a lot of love nationally, but the Gators have handed it to them twice, so I'm not – and then now they're out without Miles Bailey, their best player. So I don't think that they're up there. So, yeah, I think that's what I would go with. I mean, UCLA has really stood out. And again, what competition have they played? They'll eventually get to that point. So we'll see how they do. But, yeah, Texas and Georgia, the cream of the crop right now in the league.
Larry says, Jeff, why don't you like the UCF coach?
I just know some things behind the scenes and how he's treated some players, Larry. That rubs me the wrong way.
And he said, do you have a softball team of the week?
I don't know. I haven't really watched enough of that to pick one.
Yeah. In the SEC, it's interesting because Oklahoma's right there. But what I like about our league, there are some teams struggling at the bottom. but the Mississippi States and the Arkansas, those are the teams that don't get love, but they're going to make the NCAA tournament. And just like we see a lot of SEC teams in both baseball and softball, and that's, what you want. One of the first things you want to aspire to is that. Okay, got some YouTube questions here. Andy, glad to have the show back. Respect you guys. When it comes down to Sully's decisions of the order out of the bullpen, I feel skeptical at best with his choices. Your thoughts on the current pecking order for relievers?
No, I think he's done a great job. I think every decision is the right one. I have no problems. It's just the execution piece that's got to be figured out. And then obviously Liam not doing his job makes it a little bit harder in trying to figure that out. But I think Sully managed even that game fine on Thursday night. You didn't bring in the big guns at the very beginning because you were down. So you're waiting till the end to try to do that. So, yeah, everything's been totally fine from that. And obviously Barberi is the cream of the crop, and you're going to use him on the first game and the last game if possible. But if you've got a chance to win the first two, I think that's what you have to go do. And then Reitner's been really, really good at the end of the games. He just didn't have it. Didn't have the slider the other day, left a fastball out over the plate. And I think the one tough one, though, is now Lugo Canchola. He got off to such a great start, but the league has really hit him around, and I like the mentality of him, but he comes in, he's got his job to do, and let's go get out a lefty, and he walks him on 5 pitches the other day. So, of course, then you got to take him out. And then I don't know if Cooper Walls is just butthurt now because he's not starting on Sundays anymore, but they called for an outside fastball, and he hits a left-handed hitter on a pitch that was supposed to be away. So just completely lost it there, and other guys need to step up. But you have you've got a couple of good ones in there.
YouTube questions brought to you by Silverback Concrete. You stand on it, we stand by it. Chuck, you mentioned the hitting needed to get better. I think that needs to start with guys like Curlin and Bowen. Who do you think needs to really step up to elevate the lineup?
Say that one more time.
Mentioned the hitting needs to get better.
Yep.
I think that starts with guys like Curlin and Bowen. Curlin's hitting better lately.
Yep.
Who do you think needs to really step up to elevate the lineup?
Well, now with Cash Strayer out, whoever's going to be in that other outfield spot. I mean, Sears done a pretty good job, although he struggled this weekend. It's got to be the bottom part of the order, and these guys are striking out way too many times. Kendall ends up tripling, which was a big part of getting a run in that Friday game. But other than that, he struck out 3 times, and it was all looking, and it's all with dudes on base and big spots. So I think that the plan going to the plate is not really good right now by a lot of those guys. Colt Myers again got a hit in the final game to give the Gators a 2-0 lead that they ended up blowing, but he had gone long. He had only driven in 1 all year, and that's your starting third baseman. So, I mean, look at any other third baseman on any team in the country, and they got more than 1 run batted in.
Yeah, that's been a revolving door.
And then I guess, the answer is maybe trying to get Stripling some more at-bats. He's been okay, but, yeah, if you're not – and then, the Gators it was 28 at-bats for Jones, and he went 2 for 28. Through that little spell. So if you're not getting to the top of the order and then they're walking Lawson all of a sudden, you've got to have Surowick hit, and then Bowen behind him. I mean, he's still only got 3 homers with like a 280 batting average. So there's a lot of guys that could certainly be better there.
Facebook Live questions brought to you by Meldon Law, the only official injury and accident law firm partner of the Florida Gators. James, disappointed with the coaching staff. Feels like the absence of a glue guy like Girolamo has hurt him. How do you replace the presence of somebody like that? Am I overrating his effect on the clubhouse?
I mean, what's Tennessee doing right now?
I was just going to say that.
So I think the personalities are completely different, and the interesting part is trying to. And Tommy Slater's a wonderful coach. I mean, guy's been a part of pro baseball for 20 years and was coach at Auburn, and obviously he was even here for a year. Yep. So I think Tommy's really, really good for Kevin O'Sullivan. I think it's made the entire camaraderie, a part of that coaching staff, better. So I don't think it's that. I just think it's now trying to get those hitters to buy into a completely different process. I mean, those guys under Chuck, who again, yeah, he ran the offense. He was really good at what he did. I mean, I absolutely love Chuck. But now you've got to take away the approach of the 3-run homer all the time. And now you're in more of a mindset of trying to hit line drives and play small ball and do those types of things. And I think guys are just trying to adjust to a new style. So, yeah, I don't think it's that at all.
Jill, if Florida's to win the series against Georgia, what's the biggest thing they have to do?
Throw 3 shutouts.
That's pretty big.
That would.
That's pretty big.
Yeah, I think that's That's really what it comes down to. I mean, Florida's going to have to pitch. It's a smaller ballpark as well, and we don't know what Jackson Barberry's condition is after having to leave the game on Saturday. And luckily, I think Ricky Reith will be back this weekend. So if you lose Barberry, you at least get Reith back. But to be able to have both of those guys would be absolutely huge, especially because Liam hasn't been able to perform well.
See, Jeff, that's the thing. If you take the sum of all those parts, right, there's some really good arms there.
Yeah.
And if something does happen where, the starter goes 4 or gets knocked out, they do have the Reiths of the world, the Barberries of the world that can stretch out and pitch and save your pitching staff. But just it's been one little thing here, one little thing there that's held them back. And you just think if they could just get it together there.
Yeah, if healthy,
yes.
At the end of the year, we got a question on YouTube as well, sponsored by Silverback Concrete, that says, if you had to call it today, is Gator baseball make it to Omaha? I mean, I would say they can pitch well enough to make it to Omaha. There's no question about it. But if they're not healthy and Peterson's continues to be the guy that he is, then I would tell you no.
All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back. More On Deck show coming up. Stay with us as you listen on WRUF.
Looking for a roof you can trust to weather any storm? Atlantic Roofing has been covering North Central Florida for over 20 years. We're a third-generation, locally owned roofing company. From Alachua to Marion, Bradford, Levy, Gilchrist, Columbia, and beyond, we've got your home, your business, and your back. Visit AtlanticRoofing.com or call today for your free estimate. Atlantic Roofing, where quality rises above.
Gator fans, this one's for you. Introducing Castaway Sauce Company, the hot sauce made by Gators for Gators. Their signature ball kicker hot sauce is inspired by Steve Spurrier's famous kick that beat Auburn in '66. If you love hot sauce with real flavor, not just heat and vinegar, Castaway delivers. Available at select public supermarkets, Castaway Sauce Company is founded by a lifelong Gator and proud UF alum. From mild to wild, they've got a flavor for every Gator tailgate. Grab your Castaway hot sauce today and taste the tradition. Learn more at CastawaySauceCompany.com.
It's first pitch time, Alachua County. The field is set, the crowd is buzzing, and baseball season is in full swing. From clutch hits and game-saving catches, baseball brings the passion, teamwork, and pride that unite our community. Whether you're on the field or cheering from the stands, Coke Florida, your local Coca-Cola bottler, is proud to support the moments that bring Alachua County together. Brought to you by Coke Florida, refreshing Florida fans. Here's to a winning season, on and off the field.
Looking for the perfect stay in Gainesville? Holiday Inn Gainesville University Center is just steps from the swamp, the closest hotel to UF. With 6 stylish floors of brand new everything, we've been completely renovated and fully remodeled for your comfort. Enjoy the best guest services in town, competitive rates, and a location you just can't beat. And don't forget about our rooftop pool. Whether it's game day, graduation, or a Gator getaway, make your stay extraordinary at Holiday Inn Gainesville University Center. Visit us online today for details and booking.
When the late, great Charlie Daniels would need a place for jewelry he could trust, he turned to International Gold, Diamond, and Watch Exchange.
Hi, I'm Charlie Daniels, and I live in Tennessee, but when I get ready to do something serious about jewelry or a gift for my wife or somebody, I always get in touch with the folks at International Gold and Diamond Exchange here in Gainesville. There's a lot of reasons for that. One reason is they sell nothing but the best.
Find out what Charlie was talking about for yourself at International Gold, Diamond, and Watch Exchange at 3440 West University Avenue and online at igdwex.com.
Hey, Gator baseball fans, here's a win you can taste. When the Florida Gators take home a victory at Condren Family Ballpark, you win too at Miapa Latin Cafe. The day after every home win, swing by and score a free Cuban coffee, hot or iced, your choice. Just bring your game ticket to any Miapa location and claim your reward within 24 hours of the win. It's that simple. Gators win, you win. Only at Miapa Latin Cafe, serving Gator fans for over 20 years.
Play ball! Every great team is built on a solid game plan, sharp execution, and total trust in the crew beside you. At Quality Plumbing, we bring that same championship mindset to every job we do. For over 40 years, we've been the starting lineup for homes and businesses across North Central Florida, delivering reliable service, expert craftsmanship, and big wins for our customers. Call us today or visit qualityplumbing.com. We're your first string team. License number CFC 043073.
In the heart of Gator Country, some things are built to last. Traditions, family, and real wood furniture. At Would You Furniture, we believe furniture should be more than something you replace every few years. It should be something you pass down, built to last generations. Choose beautifully finished pieces or ready-to-finish furniture you can make your own. Would You Furniture. Real wood, real quality, right here in our community. Come visit our new showroom on Main Street, just north of our previous location, or online at wouldyougainesville.com.
Your home for the Tampa Bay Rays is WRUF.
International Diamond Center carries an exceptional assortment of designer engagement rings, wedding bands, luxury watches, and fine jewelry. Locations across Florida and right here in Celebration Point. They are in the heart of Gator Nation.
Welcome back to the On Deck Show. Again, our phone line and text line questions brought to you by Titan MRI and Imaging. 3 locations to scan you better. Our Facebook Live questions brought to you by Meldon Law, the only injury official law firm partner of the Florida Gators. YouTube questions, Silverback Concrete. You stand on it, we stand by it. Porter, hello.
Hey, Jeff, Steve, thanks for taking my call. Jeff, I want to ask about Liam. It seems to me it's inconsistency, and I don't know whether it's a matter of mentally thinking about something too much, just 1 or 2 pitches each time, and then it ends up being wild and too many guys on base. But do you think he's a good candidate for throwing from the stretch the whole time, or what's your opinion on that?
No, I don't think it's that. I think there's some kind of mental thing there that is just messing with him. It's crazy to see, Porter, because if you actually watch his bullpens, I mean, the dude's lights out. I mean, everything that he does, the stuff is absolutely incredible. It's way better than anybody this Florida's had stuff-wise in a really long time. But, 2 weeks ago it was 91 pitches in 4 innings, and then this past one was 83 or 85 pitches, something in like 3 2/3. So he's just not throwing strikes, and it's just every single week it seems like there's a 3-2 count on just about everybody. And it's 2 walks in an inning, but he'll strike out 3 in the same inning. And that's the way it was for the first couple of innings, even this weekend. But at one point, the Gators had, it was 102 pitches in the game, and Ole Miss had 51. So Florida had doubled up their amount of pitches. They're throwing way too many pitches, and
we are the home team, so you expect a little bit more, but not that.
No, it was through the same amount of innings.
Oh, that was at the bottom of the inning.
Yeah.
Dang, that's even. I don't know. I mean, I don't want to throw anybody under the bus. It seems to me that if you simplify it, I don't know if it's a mental. I don't mean he's got a problem mentally. I just think the more things you think about, the more you're thinking about. If you maybe eliminate something, I don't know. I just didn't. If maybe that simplify going to the stretch every time, that might smooth some of that out. But it was just a thought. On the other end of things, King continues to impress. That changeup against lefties is really, really funny to watch, and I like that. And I like Stanford. He had good stuff out there.
His stuff was nasty on Saturday. Yeah. I mean, it looked better than Aiden King, to be honest.
Electric.
And when we saw how special Aiden was, but if you look at the amount of strikeouts and number of pitches thrown, Sandifer actually bet. Like, if Florida would have won that game, Sandifer probably would have been the SEC Pitcher of the Week.
Agreed.
Gotcha. Is there any matching up of? I know different umpires have different types of strike zones. I presume they announce who's going to be when. Would there be any kind of thing of trying to match up the zone that an umpire tends to have with fitting with one of your pitchers, or is that something that's just you're not allowed to do it, or what?
Well, I like the idea, but it's still more important to have your normal Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And I think just sometimes it's a crapshoot. You might get a guy with a bigger zone on Saturday, which Aiden King will like, or if that guy happens to be behind the plate on Friday, and then it's great for Liam Peterson. I do think that they should, the way that they plan out the rotation, they should probably, because everything gets now judged and rated and scored and all that other stuff. I think, Porter, it would benefit everybody to put the best umpire on Friday night. and then the second best on Saturday night, the third best on Sunday, and then the schmuck that keeps missing all the calls, just let him stay in the field all weekend because I'm tired of seeing the inconsistency. So they would never do that, but I think that would be a great way to go about it.
All right.
I got you. I'll take one more question. I'll take
quickly.
it off here. It seems like we don't have the Friday night starters across the league. And do you think that's an NIL where more pitchers are getting distributed among more teams, or is that just luck of the draw this year? I'll take it off the air. Thanks.
You.
Good game.
Yeah, I think it's getting distributed to more teams. I mean, Florida's obviously had some dominant arms and 3 guys being stabs that went to the big leagues, but it's harder now. I mean, Gators wanted to bring in another starter, and they couldn't because they didn't have enough money to do it.
Ball Player of the Week. Brought to you by Holiday Inn University Center. Looking for the perfect stay in Gainesville? Holiday Inn Gainesville University Center, steps from the swamp, closest hotel to UF. Whether it's game day, graduation, or a Gator getaway, make your stay extraordinary at Holiday Inn Gainesville University Center. Ball Player of the Week.
I'm going to go back to the big leagues with mine because I've been able to watch a few Braves games, and maybe we can sneak over there even this weekend. But, yeah, how about that, too? I wish I would have planned better. The freaking Masters is this week, and we'll be in Georgia. But I went in to look for tickets, and they're outrageous. The resale is stupid right now.
I did the same thing.
Yeah, might be stuck just going to a Braves game or something. But it's Drake Baldwin for the Braves. I mean, he's been absolutely incredible. I think this week alone, 10 ribbies, hit a couple of homers. I've been listening to more Braves games on the radio because Darren O'Day's actually doing a lot of the radio games now. So it's been fun. And, I mean, Baldwin's been absolutely outstanding. Braves are off to a really nice start. They blew the game the other day. But, it's been fun to watch a random dude like Drake Baldwin, who I think might lead the big leagues in ribbies right now off the first couple of weeks.
I always try to look at the NCAA numbers because, you don't know what Southern Cal guy is doing or whatever. I don't care who you're playing for. Through games of April 1, a guy for Western Michigan, Jeff, was hitting .558.
Not bad.
I mean, that's crazy. He's a regular, plays a lot. He's hitting .558. Tanner O'Malley is his name. He's the Player of the Week. Softball Review, brought to you by International Gold and Diamond Exchange. Whether you're looking to buy, sell, trade, or repair luxury timepieces, the process begins with an honest evaluation and clear offer. International Gold and Diamond, luxury is done easy. Well, softball took 2 out of 3 over the weekend. They're 11-4 in the league. Next couple of weeks, they don't play teams that are of the upper echelon of the league, so a chance to, tack on some more wins. But as we talked about, Jeff, they're 11-4 in the league, and it sounds like they're having a bad year.
Yeah, with an RPI of 4 and a strength of schedule of 7. So, I mean, that's what they're going against. And listen, the SEC softball-wise, cream of the crop. Let's just take the RPI because I like looking at that even better sometimes than the moronic polls, which Gators aren't even in it baseball-wise again this week. But Alabama's 1, Texas is 2, Arkansas is 3, Gators are 4. Tennessee is 6, Oklahoma 8, Florida State 9, who the Gators play, and then Georgia 10. So, I mean, that's 6 SEC teams in the top 10 from an RPI standpoint. So it's a really, really tough league, and you got to commend. I mean, Florida only lost 1 game out of league competition this year. So, I mean, that's it. Everything else has been in the league, which is the toughest in the country by far.
Now, Miapa, proud to sponsor Gator Athletics and our 7th inning stretch. At all Gator baseball home games, when the Gators win, you win a free cup of Cuban coffee from any Miapa location. Just show your ticket. Go Miapa. We will take a break, and we will come back, and then we will wrap up our On Deck show for today as you listen on WRUF.
WRUF Sports Center.
I'm Rebecca Ben-Ezra. Florida baseball is looking to bounce back after a weekend loss to the Ole Miss Rebels that dropped them from the top 25 NCAA rankings. Despite the loss, starting pitcher Russell Sandifer had a strong performance, setting career highs with 7 shutout innings and 11 strikeouts. Friday night, Gators softball was locked in a scoreless tie in the 6th inning against number 13 Mississippi State until Ava Brown stepped into the batter box, making her comeback with a 2-0 victory.
Probably one of the more surreal moments I've ever experienced in my career. I felt the love. I needed the love. It felt good to feel that support and everything. After the game, I ended up sending something to my teammates too, and I was just like, this doesn't happen without all of you. Like, this entire journey has required all of us, not just me. And so
The Gators return to the Diamond against USF on Wednesday, with live coverage starting at 6:40.
Hey, have you ever talked to Ruse Agra over at State Farm?
Oh yeah, Ruse is awesome. Helped me get a ton of coverage for way less than I expected, and he serves all of North Florida. Super friendly too, actually takes time to explain everything.
Really? I thought State Farm would be pricey.
No, surprisingly great rates. You get that neighborly service you don't find everywhere. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
I might give Ruse at State Farm a call.
You should. Call 352-240-1779 for a free quote. You'll be glad you did.
Individual premiums will vary by customer. All applicants subject to State Farm underwriting requirements.
The jewelry store with the most likes, the most positive reviews, the most raving fans is International Diamond Center.
IDC is definitely a place that I will come to as long as I live here. This will be my go-to place always.
Literally the best jewelry store in town. You'll make friends for life coming in here. I felt like family from the beginning. The value was extraordinary.
I've got a beautiful diamond on my finger, and I'm very proud of it.
International Diamond Center.
I'm very happy to show it off.
At Celebration Point and online at shopidc.com.
It's never fun being injured. And with summer on the way, the last thing you want is lingering pain holding you back. Good news. You don't have to deal with long waits or high costs at Titan MRI and Imaging. At Titan MRI and Imaging, you're not just another patient. You're treated with care in a comfortable, personal setting. With 2 locations in Gainesville and 1 in Lake City. Being pain-free is a short drive away. And they accept insurance. So don't sit out this summer. Get the scan you need and get back to enjoying it. Visit TitanMRI.com to learn more.
Hi, I'm Kerry Meldon. At Meldon Law, we prepare every case as if it's going to trial. And part of that preparation involves real people from our community giving honest feedback. Join one of our jury research focus groups. You'll review real case scenarios, share your perspective, and enjoy dinner and dessert on us. We'll thank you and provide you $125 for your time. It's engaging, meaningful, and your voice truly matters. Visit meldonlaw.com to sign up today.
Concrete is tough, long-lasting, durable. And when it's done right, it's the foundation of everything that stands strong. At Silverback Concrete, we don't just pour concrete, we build trust one slab at a time. We're a family-led team of heavy concrete specialists who sweat every detail, from footers to elevated decks. We respect your budget, we build to last, and we care about the people on the job today and those who will walk these floors tomorrow. You stand on it, we stand by it. Silverback Concrete, we've got your back. Visit silverbackconcrete.co to get started.
It's game day. Lights on, fans ready, everything running like it should. Now imagine your home performing at that same level. No flickering lights, no tripping breakers, no last-minute surprises. With B&D Electric, your home's electrical system is always game day ready. From repairs and lighting to panel upgrades and troubleshooting, they deliver reliable service you can count on every time. Don't sit on the sidelines. Schedule your service today at www.bdelectric.com. That's bdelectric.com.
Looking for a roof you can trust to weather any storm? Atlantic Roofing has been covering North Central Florida for over 20 years. We're a third-generation, locally owned roofing company. From Alachua to Marion, Bradford, Levy, Gilchrist, Columbia, and beyond, we've got your home, your business, and your back. Visit AtlanticRoofing.com or call today for your free estimate. Atlantic Roofing, where quality rises above.
From the UF Weather Center, here is your WRUF weather update.
Winds will continue to be out of the northeast, so we will keep the breezy conditions and a passing shower in the forecast, at least for the next couple of days. Lows tonight will drop down into the upper 50s, with highs tomorrow only reaching the lower 70s. It certainly will be a break from the oppressive heat, but rainfall accumulations will still be on the minimal side. From the WUFT Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Andrew Wolfak.
Your home for Gators softball is 98.1 FM, 850 AM, and anywhere in the world on the WRUF mobile app.
Fans International Diamond Center is the only official jeweler of the Florida Gators. Shop exclusive, officially licensed Gator jewelry, from rings and bracelets to watches and Hall of Fame pieces. Also featuring Jenny's Gems with Coach Jenny Rowland. Visit the International Diamond Center at Celebration Point, or you can check them out online. Show your Gator pride in style. Jeff and Steve back here with you. We've got another comment on our YouTube feed. WRUF Home of the Gators is that, sponsored by Silverback Concrete. And it's a great question from Matthew. What happened to Christian Rodriguez? Dude was elite. in high school. Yeah, I mean, he was the Gatorade Player of the Year and just absolutely dominated. It's crazy, Matt, that obviously he had Tommy John, so he's trying to come back from that, and it took some time. But as the year sort of moved on last year, he got better. And then he went up to the Cape this summer, and he was lights out. He was an all-star, and then for some reason came back in the fall and was just inconsistent. And then Sully has tried him a couple of times. He had one good outing, one bad outing against FIU, and then it's just a trust factor with Kevin O'Sullivan, which is really hard because I know how much they really liked Rodriguez, but they've just tried to run other people. But to me, I would trust him a little bit more than Skylar Sanford right now if you're looking kind of at that tier of, where things are. But, of course, you've got Barberi and McNeely and other guys ahead of him. So just give him a inning or two in a midweek and see how he can do. That's what I would say.
All right, we got to run through these. We're up against it here. Let's do our Game of the Week, brought to you by Quality Plumbing. Quality Plumbers, Gainesville's trusted for over 30 years. Quality Plumbing, their name says it all. I'm looking to Florida State.
Yeah.
Tuesday.
And they obviously had a really good series win up at Virginia, really hard to do. Yeah, we'll see if they play better at home, but Florida's just had their number.
Best and worst of the week, brought to you by Ruzoger State Farm Insurance. State Farm agent Ruzoger is your go-to agent in Gainesville and North Central Florida for the service you deserve at the price you want. Best and worst of the week.
Yeah, I think best of the week is there's a guy at LSU, Cade Arambide, that had 4 home runs, and one of them was a grand slam in the same game. Wow. I mean, dude hit 4 homers and just absolutely destroyed it. Tennessee's bullpen, as we're sitting there talking about the Gators, has not been very good. They blew a couple of leads late in that one. So, I mean, that's pretty special to have 4 homers in a game. And, I mean, you can even tie what Joe Adele did, robbing 3 home runs for the Angels. I mean, that's really tough to do. And then, worst of the week is obviously losing the Saturday game. You were that close. You're 3 outs away from getting a series win. Florida had won 4 straight series at home against Ole Miss and just couldn't finish it off.
And next game preview, brought to you by Atlantic Roofing. Personal and commercial roofing expects quality, durability, excellence, and integrity. With over 50 years of experience, Atlantic Roofing brings the trusted expertise to your project. Florida State's they're ranked. They've done really well in the ACC. The ACC is a good league, but just when they match up midweek against Florida, they have trouble.
Yeah, so we don't see their weekend pitchers, which are really, really good. So I think that's a part of it. But it's also an offense. Like before the Florida State game in Jacksonville a couple of weeks ago, Florida State 2 days prior put 15 runs on the board, and then they get shut out. So there's something about, I don't know if they're really that good, because every time we see them in person that they're not good. I'm anxious to see if they can figure it out at home, but even with that, Kevin O'Sullivan has gone into Tallahassee many, many times over the years and done pretty well.
By the way, I've just been told there's no cost for the spring game. We're talking baseball.
Correct.
So I want to make sure of that because we weren't sure, but there isn't any. All right, quickly, let's get to Bernard. Bernard, hello.
Quick, hey, it's 2. Carson Witten, is he with the Braves and he's starting rotation? And secondly, the Georgia and Florida State was terrible. They changed coaches and they get very good overnight. Is this an NIL deal?
Yeah, Georgia spent a lot of money. They, he's been there a couple of years now, but has ties to the NIL world and LSU and all the things that they did. So yeah, they bought a whole bunch of players, and that's what they've done. But they've just been inconsistent, and I think they're just doing a little bit better this year. I think it's been a process over the last few years for Georgia to figure it out. And then I think you're talking about Hurston Waldrop with the Braves. Yeah, and he got hurt again in spring training. Luckily, it's not like a major arm issue. It's like something up in his shoulder that doesn't require like a tough surgery. But he did have surgery to fix it, and the hope is to have him back about midway through the year.
Thank you. Okay.
Right, yep. Thank you. All right, we got to do this real quick, Jeff. Mike, Gators have to be on pace to have the most walks in the year and runners left on base watched on TV. Coach, they're taking out Reitner after he walked the leadoff man. Let's see. Matt, and this is a text. Is it fair to accept that our poor NIL and David Kopp as our pitching coach will consistently be in a middle to low SEC team? As always, great coverage over the weekend.
No, I mean, I don't think Kopp's a problem at all. I think the pitching staff is actually pretty good. It has nothing to do with him. It's, I think, poor NIL. is a big part of it. You need more money to get some of these better guys in here.
Jonesy, softball's darn good. Could certainly make a run to Oklahoma City. The clutch factor, especially hitting, has been part of what's carried them. Is that sustainable going into the end of the regular season and postseason?
Yeah, of course it is.
Sure. Bob, I think it's time to move Peterson out of the Friday night start, continuing not to go deep in games, causing the bullpen to be used way too early and too much. Another text, maybe Peterson's a better sunshine pitcher than an under-the-lights pitcher. For Jeff, how'd those little things affect the mental side of the game for you? Did they matter?
Yeah, I don't know if they necessarily mattered at all, and I think you like to have the guy that throws the hardest under the lights because it's a little bit hard to pick up, especially then when you're going from the twilight, so to speak, into and being a night game. So it's set up perfectly for him. It has nothing to do with the stuff or anything else. It's a mental block. I think within him, he's even seen some people in the off season to try to get it better and figure it out. I bet if he has another not so good week and then the other two do well, I think you'll probably see a change.
And Kevin on YouTube, those questions courtesy of Silverback Concrete. Did you guys see the end of the Kansas-Utah game last week? Kansas got 4 homers to end the game at the bottom of the 9th.
Did see that, which Gary Henderson, my former pitching coach, is the head coach at Utah.
Yeah. All right. That is our initial on-deck show for the year. Don't forget, Jeff and I here every Monday at 1 o'clock to talk baseball, softball, MLB with you. So make sure and tune in for that. Don't go anywhere. Kevin and the Sports Lab gang are next. Thanks to Charlie for producing the broadcast today. As always, thanks to you for being part of it. I'm Steve Russell. See you tomorrow on Sports Scene. Jeff's got his show this afternoon at 4 o'clock. Make sure and listen to that as well. See you tomorrow.
You can stand me up at the gates of hell, but I won't back down. No, I'll stand my ground. Won't be turned.
If there's anybody that knows what teamwork and great leadership is all about, it's the head ball coach himself, Steve Spurrier. Sure, it applies to football and the team at Campus USA Credit Union.
Yeah, I think we got excellent leadership with Jerry Benton and his staff there, and certainly I'm proud to team up with those guys as we go from year to year.
Campus USA Credit Union can help with all your financial decisions. Join the team. Learn more at campuscu.com.